We need to talk about Nico Harrison's absolutely insane exchange with ESPN reporter Tim McMahon. But first, Raptors media got caught on a hot mic during exit interviews. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Right now, about 70% of you watching this video are not subscribed to the channel. Hit that button. Let's get those subscribers up. All right, so Raptors media, every year, every NBA team at the conclusion of their season, usually within the last few days, some teams even do it immediately after their final game. Some do it a few days later. They do exit interviews. Essentially, what happens is every NBA player on the team will go and talk with the press. They'll get to ask questions, talk about the season, where they go from there, and they typically do it rapid fire style. So the media will be in a room, and one player after another will go in there. Sometimes they'll even do groups of players. Sometimes the coach will speak. Sometimes we'll see a general manager will speak as well, but you at least get every player on the team, with usually a few exceptions if there's some extenuating circumstances. But Raptors reporters are in this video is out there. It's audio. You can find it. The Raptors reporters are in the media room, and they're waiting for their next speaker to come in, the next interviewee to come in, and they're talking, but they don't realize that the mic that's on the podium is live. It's on, and this is being streamed out to Raptors fans. And the audio is all being picked up of these reporters sitting in the room and talking. And the reporters don't know that the mic is on. So this Twitter user or X user was able to listen through it. I listened to it. It's out there. You can find it very, very easily and listen to the audio. It is very jumbled because it's a lot of people sitting in a room and they're all just chatting, waiting for the next interviewee to come in. So that's important to note in all of this. But you can make out comments like Scotty Barnes getting worse and worse every year, making fun of how he pronunciates words. Now, it could be specifically with reporters, they'll be talking about how he's responding to a question or not responding, or perhaps even looking for turns of phrase that a player uses or something of that effect. But how he pronunciates words, calling rookie Jonathan Mogbo really dumb. Now, I thought that was a little bit distorted in the audio, but it did indeed sound like he said dumb. And then making jokes about not saying championship or bust, which is, I mean, is that really that bad? Because the Raptors, are they really winning a championship? No. So you probably don't want to use the phrase championship or bust. But nonetheless, I think it underscores why the general rule in media is to always assume the mic is hot. That said, from being in many press rooms myself in the past, that's pretty typical, not necessarily the comments themselves, but it's very typical for the media to be sitting in there and chatting. And it dawned on me, I thought, God, I've never even considered, is that mic live or not when I'm sitting, because everybody's just sitting in there and chatting and things like that. Now, I can say I've never heard anybody say anything like this kind of stuff, complaining like that. But nonetheless, it's very common for media to be sitting in the press room waiting for the next interviewee to come in and just to be kind of chit-chatting and talking, oftentimes comparing notes, things of that nature. But not a great look for Raptors media. Obviously, if you're making fun of how someone pronunciates certain words and things of that nature, not a great look for Raptors media. Always believe the mic is hot, because then just underscores that you should always assume the mic is hot. All right, Nico Harrison had a crazy exchange with ESPN reporter Tim McMahon. We'll get to that right after this. The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and there's nothing like seeing a playoff game in person. That's why I'm thrilled to have SeatGeek as the sponsor of this video. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. Right now, you can get tickets to the MLB season, and the NBA playoffs are right around the corner. And I love going to live events using SeatGeek. For me, it's about the value. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So you look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. I love that. Takes all of the worry out of buying tickets. And I came through for you guys. Use our code Bulletin10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code Bulletin10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Again, big shout out to SeatGeek. Super thrilled to have them on as a sponsor for the Basketball Bulletin. All right, Mavs GM Nico Harrison had his somewhat secretive press conference yesterday. No recording allowed, no audio, no video allowed in this one for only selected media members in Dallas, but fortunately enough media members there were copying down, getting transcripts and everything of what happened. So Tim McMahon for ESPN challenged Nico Harrison, and I thought he did a really nice job challenging him here and pushing him. Could he have been a little bit less aggressive with the questioning? Maybe. But here's what he said. In your own words, you created a 3 to 4 year time frame in building a finals team, a team that went to the finals last season. You gave up your first round capital control in 27, 28, 29, and 2030. That happened in moves like the PJ Washington trade, the Daniel Gafford trade. So 3 to 4 years ends and you're out of first round draft capital. So how is that a logical decision? Explain the logic of that for the long-term best interest of the franchise. So essentially what Tim McMahon is asking is, hey, when you built a window by trading Luka, that's a 3 or 4 year window. But when those 3 or 4 years are up, you don't have any draft picks because you gave them up in the trades to try to create this window. So what happens in 3 to 4 years? Then what? Like, why was that not a bigger concern? If you're only making a 3 to 4 year window, why are you giving up that draft capital that will be more valuable now in those 3 to 4 years? And then he repeats the question. He repeats the question because Nico asked him to repeat it. And then he makes Tim McMahon repeat it. He says, I keep saying the same thing, but defense wins championships. I believe we have a championship caliber team. Okay. But not only for now, but also for the future. Obviously, the future will hold if I'm right or wrong. And ultimately, we're going to be held to the standard of wins and losses. And every executive in every field is going to be held to the same standard. And Tim McMahon obviously didn't get his question answered there. Nico did not answer the question at all. Just said, well, we'll see if I'm right or wrong, but this is a team to be good now, but also in the future. Great. How? Explain that. Tim McMahon says, your long-term best interest, though, 25, 26, 27. There's your 3 years. Then you're out of your first round capital. How does that make sense for the franchise? Nico Harrison said, like I said, we believe in the move we made. You obviously don't, and that's fine. And you're entitled to your opinion, but we're excited about the future of our team. So once again, like shifting it to, we believe in the trade. You don't, obviously, because you're asking me this question. Again, still not answering the question, not answering it. And Tim McMahon says, it's not what I believe. I'm asking for your logic. Just tell me what you think. That's all I want to know, what you think. Nico Harrison said, again, I think the future will hold. I think once we win, that will change your mind. Tim McMahon said, and you didn't believe that the team that went to the finals last year with Luka as a centerpiece could continue to contend for championships? Nico said, I'll say this again, defense wins championships. So effectively, that answer is, he kind of gave an answer, and that's no. He did not believe the team with Luka as a centerpiece could continue to contend for championships. Okay, that's interesting, especially since they had just gone to the finals, right? It's not like they got beat in round one the year before. They were in the NBA finals last year. So that's an interesting response to say, no, we don't think we can contend. But even though he didn't use those exact words, but he still never answered the question. The real question that Tim McMahon was trying to find out was just give me what you're thinking. Like, why is that not as important? And you could have gone a number of ways with this answer. You could have really explained, this is what we're thinking, right? Hey, yeah, we know our draft picks are going to be encumbered in a few years, and we know we built a window for this, but we really believe in our ability to develop talent, right? We really believe in our ability to develop talent. We're continuing to add young pieces. We're going to continue to add young players right now, right? That's what we're going to do. Or we believe that we still have enough flexibility once it does come time to pivot after whatever this window that we're in with Kyrie and Anthony Davis, it closes. There are legitimate answers that he could give here that would give a little bit of insight into how the Mavs feel about things. He could say, you know what, we just didn't feel like we were that concerned about it. We think our players are going to be, are going to play well into that time period. Maybe they think Anthony Davis is going to play till he's 36, 37, or Kyrie is too, or whatever. There are ways you could have gone with this. They're just asking for, Tim McMahon is just asking for a little bit of insight into why that wasn't a heavier part of the decision-making, or why that wasn't a deterrent from making the Luka trade. And Nico was not able to give him an answer. And that ends up being a bad look. The fact that you can't give him an answer, it allows people to fill in the blanks. And so you can already imagine with the rumors that Nico, he's not long for the job. Could it be as simple as he doesn't really care about what it's going to be like a few years down the road because he's probably going to be gone then? Could it be that simple? But obviously, this is a win now move, which is why it's funny when Patrick Dumont talks about how this is a move for the future of the club. This team owner talking about it's a future move. Nico Harrison, the GM, talking about it's a move for the present, and we're creating this window. But this is absolute madness. I didn't think this was a loaded question in any way. Let's be fair. Tim probably asked it with a little bit of snark here. The way that he asked this question, kind of saying he was suggesting that they made a mistake, but Nico could have very easily disarmed this question too, just by saying, hey, this is what we're thinking. This is why we're not all that worried about what's going on then. And maybe he just doesn't have a good answer for that. But you could have actually addressed the question. You could have said, hey, you could have taken this opportunity and heap praise on your player development, right? Hey, we really believe in our player development and we believe we're going to be able to find young talent. The path to finding young players is not always first round draft capital, or we believe in the flexibility we've created with this team, and that's going to open up opportunities for us down the road. You could have given some type of forward thinking, positive response. Instead, you basically gave a non-answer. You refused to answer the question, just repeating, defense wins championships. We like what we did, and we'll find out if I'm right or wrong. Well, we'll find out if I'm right or wrong. No, but what were you thinking here? Why did you weigh this to a different degree than this? Why are you so focused on the present and you're not worried about what's going to happen here based on the moves that you're making? Well, we'll find out if I'm right or wrong. Absolute. This is why this struck me as so bizarre. It's just insane. And again, this is the type of thing that allows people to fill in the blanks, and this is where you start getting questions about, well, what's the real answer then? What's the answer he didn't want to give? It didn't make sense why the Mavs were even doing this at all. Why do this now? Tonight now is the Mavs' biggest game of the season. Their play-in game against the Kings. That's tonight. And you pick now to shine the spotlight back on Luka. You already got through Luka's return to Dallas and all of the publicity that came with that, all the attention, all the negativity that came with that. You got through that. Felt like you got to the top of the mountain. You're on the downward slope now. Attention's going to focus elsewhere. And you decide to hold a press conference to put the attention right back on the move that everybody perceived as a huge mistake. And then you're given non-answer. It's insane. It's insane what's going on in Dallas. It feels like every time you think they can't dig themselves any deeper, they do it. Come on, Mavs, turn it around here, and we'll see. Maybe a win here tonight against the Kings would help to alleviate some concerns, maybe. But yikes. Good Lord. Everybody, give me your thoughts in the comments down below about what's going on in Dallas, as well as the Raptors hot mic situation. Don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel. Till next time, see ya and stay safe.